What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the second edition of the Senior Bowl Zoomies, brought to you by Mike Anthony. As you know, I am headed down to the Senior Bowl, which takes place in Mobile, Alabama. I am 2.5 hours into my trip, currently somewhere in Virginia, not 100% sure, to be honest with you. And I thought this was the perfect time to, stretch my legs because I am getting old and my back and legs are starting to hurt me, and get gas, and more importantly, talk about another player profile here for a player that I'm pretty excited about, kind of under the radar, in my opinion anyway. I don't know if more people are onto him, but I don't see his name much brought up, and that is Brashard Smith, SMU running back, 5'10", 196 pounds. Originally was at Miami, transferred to SMU this past season, 2024, 232 attempts, 1,326 yards, 5.7 yards a carry, 14 TDs. Now, here's where the big numbers come in. 41 receptions, 337 yards, 4 touchdowns. That is some damn good work right there. That is some really, something really that us as fantasy and dynasty managers need to pay attention to. High volume passing, or pass catching for that matter. Some pros: excellent pass catcher, as I mentioned. We'll get into the notes as to why that is after the pros and cons here. Like I said, excellent pass catcher, great use of hands, really solid routes, not more than just pass catching out of the backfield. Lateral mover, really good at making people miss in phone booth and in the open space. Home run threat. He's got some real nice speed. I project him to be a high 4.3, maybe a low 4.4. So that's a guy who can take it to the house at any minute. Some cons: size for sure. Being under 200 pounds, that's not something we love, but it is not far off from 200 pounds. Obviously, that's maybe two more cheeseburgers. Who knows? The next thing: vision inconsistencies. He does struggle to find holes, or make holes for himself. That is something that I noticed. And contact balance, again, I think that has something to do with the size as well. But as to why I think there is vision inconsistencies and why he's an excellent pass catcher, he's a converted wide receiver, kind of like Tyrone Tracy was last year. The fact that he caught 41 passes is something very impressive. Like I mentioned, really good route runner. He takes that former wide receiver ability into his routes as a running back. And not just that, to be honest with you, I know I mentioned the vision inconsistencies, but that is something that could continue to progress in the right direction, especially if he ends up in a good, running back room, with a good running back coach, a good offensive coordinator. I think that's something that he could absolutely work on, especially since he's still relatively new to the position. But that is something we really want as dynasty and fantasy managers, is that PPR upside. And there isn't much more upside than Brashard Smith, a converted wide receiver, like I mentioned. This is a dude you guys need to keep on your radars. He's definitely on mine. Again, an elusive runner, a plus pass catcher, and a home run threat. That doesn't need to be doesn't need any more words than that for me. Guy, again, can't wait to see him in a couple hours. And you guys have a good night, and I'll see you on the next stop.